How do I bring what I want to me now? It's accepting that I already have it. Now, okay, if this is a wish that I wanted, okay, I would say I already have it. There is no one on earth who could make me feel or say that I don't really have it. I have it, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And only in that state of mind does it come, and it will come.
Get away from the losers. Get away from the no-hopers. Get away from the negative people, because these people will drag you down as surely as an anchor would drag you down if it was tied to your leg. If we associate with negative people, critical people, cynical people, lazy people, people who waste their time, we will become exactly like them. We take on the colorings and the behaviors of the people around us. So it's very important that you make a decision what you want to be like, and you begin to associate with people who are like that.
So many people might have been able to do so many awesome things if they could really do what they wanted to do, instead of just, following the beaten path.
Bro, if you're succeeding at a life that you hate, imagine how great you'd be at one that you actually enjoyed. But there's so many people that are crushing it and then not fired up for what they do. Imagine how good you could be if you actually woke up on a morning and were excited for what you were about to do.
A lot of people are afraid of being different. That's one of the worst things that can happen to you, because it's what makes you different that is what makes you powerful. Everybody has a purpose, but not everybody follows it. Not everybody connects to it.
And always remember this: people are time wasters, and majority of people have no goals, no plans, no priorities. They have absolutely no concern about becoming successful, and they think that you're the same. They think that because their time isn't worth anything, your time isn't worth anything either. So you gotta always be alert by who you surround yourself by, because the last thing that you want is to give your time and energy to the wrong people.
Question of worth it is reliant on an outcome. We don't make these things for an outcome. It's not the mindset to make something great. The outcome happens, you're making the best thing you can make. It's a devotional practice. Whatever happens after that, happens.
Failure is 100% necessary for greatness. To achieve greatness, to have that success, we've got to fail as many times as possible.
I think we'll always have our daily battles with fear. But what letting go is, and learning to let go is, and really bringing ourselves to a place where we can truly begin to navigate these seas, is we have to change our foundation. Some of us have a foundation of fear. It's our home. It's our go-to. It's what we always go back to. And I've been there. And when we learn to let go, what we're doing is slowly cracking that foundation, digging it all up, and replacing it with the foundation of hope and faith.
The best piece of advice that I ever received is that you are what you think about. Everything that you think about, you become. You become what you think about. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions lead to behaviors. Behaviors leads to lifestyle. Lifestyle determines your destiny. So everything begins in the mind.
It's not on everybody else. It's on you. You have to make things happen. Nothing is going to be given to you. You cannot have any part of your mind that thinks, oh, someone will just do this for me. You cannot have that in your mind. You have to do things yourself. You have to create things. You have to make things happen. You have to do it yourself. No one is going to give it to you. No one is going to give it to you. And this doesn't mean you have to take from someone else. You have to build for yourself.
We all have this voice. It's the right or wrong voice. A lot of times that voice guides us into comfort. My voice guided me into comfort a lot. But I had this other voice I heard my whole life say, hey, Rucker, what are you doing? We gotta go over here where nobody's at. That's where victory's at.
Imagine you walking out the door a loser. I'd rather die. I would rather die than be that loser guy. Think about that. You want to walk out that door a damn loser, or do you want to walk out the door a winner? Like, you know, I'll fight to the death. And sometimes I went close to death. It sounds crazy, but you got to give it that much if you want results. Otherwise, you'll be like everybody else. The majority of the population, they think they're trying hard. That was hard.
I found that I never found a single person who was successful who was not excellent at what they did. That competence, the commitment to becoming excellent in your chosen field, is an indispensable prerequisite for success. That if you are not good at what you do, you haven't got a chance in our competitive society unless you win the lottery. That success is predictable if you commit yourself to becoming excellent. It does a whole lot of other things within your mind, but if you commit yourself to becoming excellent, it changes everything about you. You must commit yourself to becoming the best. And the wonderful thing is that excellence is a journey. It's not a destination. You never get there. Complacency and satisfaction are the key enemies of excellence. But once you commit yourself to becoming excellent, the whole world opens up for you. This means simply this: do your best every time out and always strive to do it better. And what we do is we get to 90% done, and then we start to drag our heels. We start to put the paperwork aside. We start to think of excuses. We start to do what is fun and easy rather than what is hard and necessary.
This is it. This is the year that changes everything. And understand, the path to actually making progress and genuinely changing your life is quite simple. If you win enough days in your week, you win the week. If you win enough weeks in your month, you win the month. If you win enough months in your year, you win the year. And if you win enough years in your decade, you win the decade. You win enough of those, well, congratulations, you simply beat life, right? But understand that everything is fully dependent upon the actions and the decisions that you take today. So choose your actions wisely.
I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm burnt out. Then you ain't got it, bro, okay? Because this is a long sprint. You are sprinting as fast as you can for your whole life. And you can't get around doing the work. And you're not gonna figure out how to do it. You're not the first person in the world that's gonna figure out how to do it without doing the hard shit and putting in the time. You are not going to do it. So you have to ask yourself, is this the life I really want? Do I really want to pay that price? And what am I gonna give for it? What's it gonna cost me? Like, bro, it ain't for everybody. There is a reason it's rare. And the reason it's rare is because it's incredibly difficult. And it takes a long time. And it has to be the focus of your day, every single day. It'll punch you in the face 1,000 times in a row and not give a how bad you're hurting.
2025 is your last chance to become the person that you strive to be. This is it. You don't get another chance after this, because eventually you have to break the cycle, my friend. If you keep telling yourself you're gonna be something, new year, new me, right? Same person. We just can't keep happening. We gotta break the cycle. Otherwise, we'll never break it. The more time goes on that we exist within this dreadful cycle of stagnation, the harder it is to get out. You know, you gotta develop some sense of urgency here.
There's so much knowledge out there, so much information, so many ways to get better. And we make so many mistakes. We're the product of our mistakes. And oftentimes the lesson is sitting there right in front of our face. It's there to be learned, but we miss it, or we don't pay attention to it, or we think we know better until it punches us in the face. And the most important thing to learn is that we have so much to learn as far as regrets and things I wish I would have done differently, of course. Hindsight Hindsight is 20/20, and looking back, of course, who wouldn't want to take another go at something? The fact is, you don't get that chance. You get one shot at this gig right here. Life. One life, that's all you've got. And regret, in and of itself, it's worthless. It does nothing for you. In fact, the only valuable thing in regret is the lesson you learned, the knowledge that you gained. But walking around filled with regret gets you nothing.
It's all about mindset. Yeah. That's it, man. You have to change the dialogue within your head. And one thing I guarantee you, there's some stat out there about January 1. All that kindling that you started, all that motivation usually burn out by about 10 to 12 days later. So let's see how far you can take that shit. Usually it's 10 to 12 days, man. People always come in, man, hey, I want a workout program. I no longer give them anymore because you're gonna waste my fucking time. Because I know most people out there, once that one alarm clock goes off, the wrong time of the day, I'm not going to the gym.
All this new year, new me bullcrap can stop right now because it is the same exact you, but the same exact tendencies and the same exact defaults in your mind when times get tough. A society-wide marketing campaign is not going to change you for the better because if it was, it would have worked last year. The best day to start looking to make serious changes is the day you least want to do it, because that's exactly what it's going to feel like when all your motivation wears off. So either look to genuinely change the way you think through endless effort, or don't even bother with the idea of a new you.
It's January 1st. Nothing has changed. This year's not going to be your year. You're not magically any different because the calendar switched from December 31st to January 1st. You're still the exact same person that you were the day before, with all the same tendencies and all the same temptations and the same bad habits that you try to avoid. You're the same person. The only way this year is going to be your year is if you treat every single day the way you treat January 1st. If you treat every single day like a brand new opportunity to improve upon the person that you've been with the same intensity and the same intention and the same focus that you bring to January 1st, there's no doubt that this year will be your year. And every subsequent year after that will be your year. Because who you are and the way you execute is not dictated by a calendar. It is dictated by your decision to act.
It's a blank slate, a brand new year. Everything that happened last year, every win, every loss, every lesson brought you here. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. 2025 isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about creating it. You don't need permission or a perfect plan. You just need to decide right now. Decide to bet on yourself. The best year of your life doesn't just happen. It's built day by day and choice by choice. This is your year, not because it's guaranteed, but because you decided it will be. So make it the best one yet. You got this.
Every ambitious person who wants to do something in their life or has done something in their life has gone through the exact same chapter you're going through right now. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your old friends, but you don't have the achievements to fit in with a new group of friends. And you're doing everything you can, the free tutorials online, you're reading everything you get your hands on, you're going through it and you're thinking to yourself like, is this gonna be worth it? Is this actually going to work? Because you're seeing no signs of success, but the signs of success are the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend your knee to their hate and try and go back and conform because it's comfortable and it's warm. Because you know deep down you can do more than this, and you begin to see the person that you could be, and you realize how far you need to go. But despite how far away it seems, you look back down that dead-end road and know that's not where you want to be. And so you keep going.
Fail big.
Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. Hard work works.
Never quit. Finish the race. Ever heard of learned helplessness? It's a psychological phenomenon that can happen from quitting too often. You quit once, you quit again, and then it becomes habit. Your brain learns that quitting is an effective way to avoid discomfort or difficulty, and it becomes a go-to response in challenging situations. It's all to do with the way the brain processes rewards and reinforcement. When a behavior is rewarded, the brain releases dopamine, which reinforces that behavior and makes it more likely to be repeated. In the case of quitting, the reward is the avoidance of discomfort or failure, which can be just as powerful a motivator as a positive reward. When faced with this dilemma, you must change the narrative in your mind. Bring it back to the intention. What was the intention? Well, you entered the race, so you intended to finish it. Go get it done.
How many times in life have you ever driven by an orchard or driven by a massive farm and you see these crops, these fruits, these vegetables just growing? Do you ever think what it started with? It started with one seed. It's one seed, just like the ideas you have in your head to grow your business, to grow you personally, and to create even stronger relationships. It's that one idea that is watered and nurtured that make all the difference in the world. And from that one little tiny seed, you can have massive farms, massive trees to produce so much wealth and growth in all areas of your life. So from one little seed, one idea that you created, that you have in your mind, and then when it's planted and cultivated and watered and nurtured, what do you think you're capable of doing? Because your capability is not limited. Your capability is as much as you want it to be when it comes to your imagination. The only thing that limits capability is listening to other people's limitations of what they can do, not what you can achieve. What you can achieve is way more than we think. It's a question is, we know you can, are you willing? Because if you're willing, from one idea, one seed, you can create the most incredible farms, the most incredible lifestyle that you know you deserve.
We know that when it comes to life, we want to be growing. We want to seek opportunities for growth. We want to be doing things that make us more competitive, better to be in situations in the future than we are today. We know we need that growth. One of the most effective ways that we can continue to ensure that we grow through our life is to seek out change. When the fact of the matter is, the only difference between whether we embrace change or fight change is the perspective that we see it with. And all we have to do to see change as a positive and an opportunity for growth in all aspects of our life is to make a choice that change is good. That change doesn't happen to us, change happens through us. And by embracing that concept, by seeing it as something that's positive, I can use that to continue to grow individually. Because those only two options that exist, right? Growing or dying. And if change makes me grow, then I want to start seeing change as an opportunity. I want to start not just embracing it happening, but I want to seek it out.
Clarity means you see more clear. When you see more clear, interrelations become more apparent. When you see more clear, there is no need to believe anyone or believe anything. Seeing clear means you can distinguish for yourself which is the proper direction to take and which decisions do I have to make in order to make my goals or aspirations start to shape. I can't and I won't tell you which way to go. It's just that along your personal journey, you will encounter challenges. Those challenges will either prevent you or some of them even stop you from moving on and climbing that mountain.
Every moment of your life is building the story of your life. Some chapters will break you wide open, and others will remind you of just how strong you are. But the reality is, they're all necessary. Your job isn't to avoid the hard parts. It's to show up for them, own them, and use them to write the story that only you can tell. Because your life isn't a rough draft. It's a masterpiece in the making.
Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action. Today, now. To take action now to become a better person, not filled with regret, but filled with knowledge. Filled with knowledge and strength and power and filled with life.
Learn that no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be better tomorrow.
It's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. You gotta get through failure. It's very important, and you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going.
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place, and that's the graveyard.
The number one regret of the dying is they didn't take risks. They didn't become their ideal self. And I think that sometimes people hold off braveness and courage because they don't want to risk failure and they don't want to risk shame. And I think you got to risk it.
You need to decide what you want. You need to decide what you want to be remembered for. You need to decide what your legend will be.
I'm not saying I don't care about you. I'm not saying I don't care about these hard times that you go through, but most people do not care. The very small window in life that you have to succeed is not just gonna stay there. You have to put in the work despite how you feel. And guess what? If you just so happen to do that, that is how you build toughness.
Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant and gorgeous and talented and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?
So many people live in their head, they go to therapy in their head, they go in circles and nothing changes because it just becomes a circular conversation. And so what do you got to get yourself to act? Well, to get yourself to act, you have to get yourself in a state where you'll do it. So you can take anything and make it represented in your mind as difficult or easy. And the way we represent things is the way we feel. You experience the life you focus on. If I'm focused on what's wrong, my life is wrong. If I'm focused on what I love, my life is love. It really comes down to, yes, the way you represent the world is the way you experience the world. So if I feel, what's life? Well, it's a test. Well, then what's life like if it's a test? Well, if it's like a test, then it's hard and I gotta study and I could fail. Or someone say, then life's easy because I'm good at tests. Or is life a battle? Then those people always are looking for someone to fight with. They expect there's gonna be a fight. It's always a struggle, and they find a way to make it a struggle. Is it a gift? Like however you represent life, it'll change completely what you're feeling and what you're doing.
Let me tell you something. You listen to me and listen to me closely. Success doesn't come to the most intelligent or the most talented. Success to come to those who are the most hungry.
And there's a thing in your life called momentum. And if you're stuck in your life, it's because there's a lack of momentum in it. Momentum takes average, ordinary people and makes them appear to be superhuman. You have to do really difficult and feared things first. So if you could start to build the habit of doing feared things first, difficult things first, if you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself. And I have found that in my life. Most people avoid pain and discomfort, and that what happens is they never create any momentum in their life.
But for people with a growth mindset, the brain becomes most active when receiving information about what they could do better next time. In other words, people with a fixed mindset worry the most about how they're judged, while those with a growth mindset focus the most on learning. There are other consequences of mindset. People with a fixed mindset see effort as a bad thing, something that only people with low capabilities need, while those with a growth mindset see effort as what makes us smart, as the way to grow. And when they hit a setback or failure, people with a fixed mindset tend to conclude that they're incapable, so to protect their ego, they lose interest or withdraw. We observe that as lack of motivation, but behind it is a fixed mindset. Whereas people with a growth mindset understand that setbacks are part of growth, so when they hit one, they find a way around it.
The journey to success comes with a lot of what? Failure. So why don't you teach yourself, like I taught myself, is how to fail properly. You're gonna have to learn how to get up extremely fast because you are gonna have a million setbacks on this journey. And that's how I literally taught myself how to fail first.
If you've forgotten the language of gratitude, you'll never be on speaking terms with happiness, right? Like, what are you grateful for? Every single day, just slow down, right? Like, what are you grateful for, man? Right? Because it recalibrates and puts us in the space and place. And when I'm grateful, I learn more. When I'm grateful, I'm a little bit better, right? When I'm grateful, I listen a little more. When I'm grateful, I'm more in the moment.
Belief comes before ability. You're not always born with the ability, but you have to believe before you have the ability. And if you believe, you have the ability, and then you have the courage to take action on that belief and that ability, then you can start moving forward. That is momentum. Momentum is potential. It's not guaranteed success, but it is potential.
We become people that only care about the outcome, then we lose ourselves. Marcus Aurelius gives us a very nice idea on how to find the good. He says, to the lover of glory, it is the reactions of others. To the lover of pleasures, it is his own passive experience. But to the intelligent man, it is his own action.
You have to be delusional. Franz Kafka once said, by believing passionately in something that still does not exist, we create it. The non-existent is whatever we have not sufficiently desired. Embrace the power of your dreams, for they have the potential to shape your reality. Let your desires guide you, fuel your actions, and manifest the life you envision.
Don't listen to anybody. Don't even listen to me. You already know what you need to do. It's in you. It's talking to you all the time. You downplay it because you think you're not experienced, or you know you're not experienced, so you're scared to listen to yourself. But you know you. Your soul knows you, and that's what you're listening to in your head. Trust it. Trust your gut. Go with your first instincts. You can't lose. Words are life. Speak things into existence and create your universe. Protect yourself with your words. The universe is listening.
Destiny taps us on the shoulder, and is it going to find us ready? Are we going to be there in our finest hour? And the answer is most people don't. Most people turn away when destiny calls. We let things get in the way. We know what we're supposed to do. We know what we want to do. We know what the right thing is to do, but we don't do it. We let other things get in the way. Courage calls, but we ignore it. But what history needs, what the world needs, what you need is to answer that call and not let anything get in the way.
You're about to win big. And I have key signs that you're about to win big, because you've been doing the work, you've been staying faithful. Listen, you're about to win big.
Projecting yourself forward to see what are the consequences of failing, what are the consequences of stopping, is about as powerful of a motivation strategy as I can think of. Because what you're doing is you're trying to optimize right now to stop the discomfort. But what you're going to pay for that in is shame and guilt and regret long term. So what you need to be able to do is bundle all of that up that is as yet unfelt, but will last for way, way, way longer. You know, the future is much longer than now. That's right. The future is going to extend out up until the day that you die. And the now is just for now. And even 130 hours is just 130 hours. And you get to look back. And do you look back with pride and glory? Or do you look back with shame and guilt?
The reason you need profound things is because life is actually a profound problem for everyone. I mean, you can shelter back and live a very conservative existence, and it doesn't stop you from having to face the ultimate questions of life. It would be better if you could, I think, if you could confront them full on. There are going to be times when you're in an emergency room and, you know, prone to panic and to cry and to break down and to collapse and to be of no use to anyone around you. And that's not the right way to be. The right way to be in a situation like that is to be strong and reliable, and I don't think you can do that without being wise.
At some point in life, we got to wake up and we got to say no more. We got to wake up and we got to say, man, this is it. We got to wake up and say, I'm going to make a change, a difference. We can't just be online watching things, saying amen, you know, all the things that go back to the same things, y'all. It doesn't work like that. Hearing things is great, but you know what? Doing things and taking action, that's what's going to make change in your life. You need to start making some decisions. You ain't got to change everything, but you need to say, you know what? This is the one thing that I'm going to stop being loyal to, and this is the one thing I'm going to start being loyal to.
You've had enough disappointment. Sometimes your brain doesn't want to get disappointed, so it's a permanent problem. No problem is permanent. Only your soul is permanent. Nothing's forever. Everything changes. Everything eventually ends and something new begins. That's part of life. Those are the seasons of life.
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures.
You were born to do something great with your life. That you're enough, that you're special, that you're favored, that you're chosen, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what you've been carrying with you. But every day, some of us are killing ourselves with the shame we carry from something we've done, some humiliation, some fear. We put this gun to our head every day that tells us we're not enough. We're not strong enough, pretty enough, smart enough, favored enough, that we're doomed. And we carry these guns in our head every day that shame us, that take our confidence from us, that steal our joy. And there's a better way forward. You can put those things down in your life. You could decide today that you were born to do something great.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working. Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
In life, you don't have just one shot. You see, the only difference between you and anybody that has created the things that you want in life is that they just kept shooting over and over and over and over again until they got what they wanted. In life, you have an infinite number of shots.
Lots of hierarchies to attempt to climb, and if you fail in one, go try in another. But the point is, you're still trying to aim for the top, and what the hell are you going to do if you don't try to aim for the top? You know, flap about uselessly and whine about your life? It's not helpful. It'll just make you miserable. You're not reliable to anyone. You can't help out in a crisis. I don't care what you're going to do, but go out there and make something of yourself for God's sake. Be an honest person and work and get to the top of whatever it is that you want to get to the top of. You know, and stand up for yourself like a respectable human being and be a bit of a light on the world instead of a blight.
There are people who come in your life sometimes to be there for a season. They weren't meant to be there always. Sometimes we find ourselves hooked up with people that we think are there for a lifetime, but they were only supposed to be there for a season. There are people who come in your life like boosters for a rocket. If you ever watch a rocket go into space, the boosters fall off when it reaches a certain altitude. Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going.
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. When you love the journey, the goals just happen. You hit milestones as a side effect. Because it doesn't matter. At that point, I don't care if I can lift this much weight or run this fast. I mean, that's cool, but I don't love it as much as I love the journey. I love the journey. What does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better, learning, start it over, do it again. When you fall in love with the journey, everything else takes care of itself.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same.
The more responsibility you take on, the more meaning your life has. And the higher degree of responsibility that you agree voluntarily to try to bear, the richer your life will be. It's like it's weight, it's responsibility, but there's glory in it. There's real glory in it. There's deep meaning in it.
Yes. Life can be overwhelming. That's the way life works. It is testing you. It is going to throw problems at you, and it is going to throw them at you all at the same time. This is the way life works. Murphy's Law. It is easy to feel beaten when you're faced with all those problems at once. But let me tell you, that does not mean give up fighting. In fact, it means the opposite. It is time for you to fight harder, to dig in, to go on the warpath, to assess what the problems are and decide which one you are going to attack first.
This is my question to you. When you go free yourself, how long are you gonna stay in this pain expecting change to happen in your life? How long are you gonna stay in this situation expecting things to change in your life? You've been here for the last year, the last 5 years, the last decade, staying in the same mess, accepting the same mess, and wonder why you're stressed, wonder why you're not happy, wonder why you're not fulfilled, wonder why you're not experiencing the life that you deserve to experience. When you gonna free yourself from the pain?
It won't be easy. In fact, it will be hard. Life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges that you face, they are going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them.
If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools.
You have to understand that every portion of your life is designed with a purpose in mind. You don't have dreams without tests. You understand? And everything you're going through is God preparing you for what you asked for. So when you get tested, it's actually God preparing you for what you asked for. You got to have hardships, setbacks, missteps. The only way to learn how to get up, you got to fall. Only way to learn how to get over, you got to be under. The only way to learn how to win, you got to lose. Only way to appreciate the laughter, you got to be crying. You would not appreciate the sunshine if it didn't rain.
Stand up. Dig in. Line up those problems and confront them, face them, fight them. Do not let them bring you down. Instead, let these challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you.
You don't have to stay where you're just tolerated and not celebrated. You don't have to stay where you're not happy. You don't have to stay where you're not being better. You don't have to stay where you're suffering. You can free yourself from it. But when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna realize that if you don't do it, you're gonna be staying with this pain forever? You're gonna stay in this place of misery for the rest of your life. And I'm not trying to put fear in your heart, but I am putting reality on your mind. Nothing's gonna change. At some point, if it serves no purpose in your life, for your life, you gotta free it from your life. And I know it's easier said than done, but you know it's a lot harder? Staying in pain for the rest of your life. You know it's a lot harder? Staying in chaos for the rest of your life. You know it's a lot harder? Staying in misery for the rest of your life.
You can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. And so hold on when there's nothing in you except a will which says to them, hold on. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, will be a man, my son.
The power to manifest is in experiencing the fullness of the present moment. Life in its fullness. Life in its fullness is an inner state of being. It is to experience, to know, to realize the beingness within you, the I am, which is consciousness itself. And that is the fullness of life.
The price of progress is pain. The price of progress is pain.
2024 is not going to be any different than 2023 if you're no different in 2024 than you were in 2023. Things do not get better because of a new year. They get better because of a new you. You don't just change a calendar page. You don't just change a date. You have to change you. The date doesn't mean nothing. You can be as bad today as you were yesterday. You can be as unhappy today as you were yesterday, regardless of what the date on the calendar is. Determine what it is needs to be changed. Determine what it is you're going to replace that with.
If there's something inside of you that you don't like, a behavior, an emotion, a thought, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a pattern. And we can develop patterns and do them so often that we think we're our patterns. It's just a habit of thinking, habit of motion. It's a pattern. And you can change any pattern when you stop thinking there's something wrong with you.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
Oh man, your struggle is what made you who you are now. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life. You have these tools. You were training for this stuff, man. You have the advantage of everybody else. It was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go.
Embrace the labels they put on you. People might call you obsessed. Let them. First they'll ask you why, then they'll ask you how. It's only crazy until it's not. Your progress will be a direct reflection of your hard work. Stay true to your beliefs, make self-improvement a priority, and just keep going.
You know in fact, in your mind, yeah, I should probably be doing it. And then you don't do it. I mean, you just cheat yourself. If you got something that you want, what is stopping you from getting it? You got to realize that you're in complete control, right? You're behind the wheel every fucking day.
Never going to be able to understand how your mind works if you don't spend any time in it. If you want to make long-term change, you have to learn how your mind tries to stop you from doing it. Your mind doesn't want you to change. It wants you to stay where you're at. It wants you to stay comfortable. So when you get uncomfortable, it starts telling you lies. It says, this is dangerous, you're tired, you're injured, something's wrong. But the problem is you never get to know that it's bullshit, because the minute you get uncomfortable, you start hearing that voice and you start listening to it and you run away from it. You have to live within that resistance. You have to get comfortable in that resistance. That moment right there is the only moment where you can learn how to master your mind. Because if you want to master it, you have to understand it. And you can't understand it if you don't put it to the test.
Don't sink the ship right now. Just keep your head above water. Maintain and just try and hold on.
And hopefully give yourself a chance to notice the magic, the mystical.
Self-doubt grows when you engage in negative talk to talk yourself out of the things you want to be trying. There is so much pain in talking yourself out of trying things. And it just makes me so sad and frustrated to see so many of you that are listening, really feeling this desire to try something and putting all your energy into talking yourself out of it.
I want to remind you that where you are in life right now is not who you are, okay? Who you were has created the life that you're living right now, but who you are is a different version of yourself. You have felt pain, you have learned lessons, hopefully. You have gone through things that previous self didn't know or hadn't experienced. And now you are equipped with a different perspective, with different skills, and a better understanding of what decisions need to be made to change the outcome that you are currently living in.
Sometimes you have to get away from certain people and things to actually start believing in you, to actually start knowing who you are, to get clear on your visions, clear on your dreams and your goals in life, you know? And sometimes that takes isolation, you know, but so often we strip ourselves from the gifts of that isolation because we're so focused on how lonely we are. We're so focused on how we don't have anybody to relate to. We're so focused on how we just feel like nobody's there for us. What if that time you can be using to get clear on who you are, to get clear on the things that you want to do, to get clear on your goals? You know, to start believing in yourself, to start having a real relationship with yourself.
Think that everything the mind tells you, I need to follow. That means freedom. No, for us, it's the other way around. To learn and not follow what the mind tells you. This is the first step towards freedom.